Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Greta, and on this channel we talk about spirituality, law of attraction, personal growth, holistic living, magic, and so much more. If you do enjoy my content, please do subscribe, press that notifications bell, thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below. So today I'm bringing a slightly different video. Today we're talking about switching to a natural deodorant, and I'm gonna give you all of the reasons why you should consider making the switch, and I'm also gonna take you through my 30-day detox journey. So if you want to find out more, stay tuned and let's hop into the rest of the video. So let's talk natural deodorants. And I know it's such a yucky topic, but we're gonna get sweaty. We're gonna talk about odor, about the smell, about sweating, because it's normal. It's a normal function that our body has, essentially, to sweat and to remove toxins from our body. Now, a lot of people don't want to switch to natural deodorants because they are afraid of over-the-top sweating, of unpleasant odors, unpleasant smell, but mostly people are afraid of the detox process. And in general, it is said that it takes about 30 days, essentially 1 month, for your body to detox and to readjust. So when you go from using an antiperspirant or your regular deodorant, and when you switch to a natural deodorant, your body is gonna detox, because what a lot of these regular deodorants or antiperspirants contain, they contain aluminum and other harsh chemicals that essentially block you from sweating. Now, a natural deodorant, it does not block you from sweating, it actually just neutralizes the smell. Now, that leads me to my 4 reasons why you should, it's not 4 reasons why you should consider making the switch. So the first reason is sweating is natural and necessary. So as I said, all of these regular deodorants and antiperspirants, they work by literally taping and sealing your armpits so you wouldn't sweat. And natural deodorants, they just literally neutralize the smell. They don't stop you from sweating. So I think that is what scares most people, because some people are, heavier sweaters, some people don't sweat at all. If you are one of those people, I have nothing to say. Just exit the video.
I want you to exit my life.
But in essence, you have to understand that your body needs to sweat. It's one of the ways that your body flushes out the toxins, and you don't want to be holding on to all of that. And me, myself, I was an avid antiperspirant user for so many years, and it literally pains me to think about all of these times when I applied antiperspirant and I was just literally holding on to all of that gunk and not allowing myself to sweat. Now, the second reason why you might want to consider switching to a natural deodorant is the fact that antiperspirants, especially antiperspirants, but most of your regular deodorants, they may worsen the smell of your sweat over time. So because these regular deodorants or antiperspirants, they don't allow you to sweat normally, the aluminum and all of those harsh chemicals, they cause buildup. And what happens with that buildup is that over time, you may notice that when you're not wearing anything, you're not wearing a deodorant or antiperspirant, your sweat has a weird odor. And it might get weirder and weirder and weirder, just because there's more and more buildup that is causing that smell. Another thing that you may notice is that your favorite deodorant or antiperspirant, it just doesn't work anymore as well as it used to, because you just need to progress to something even stronger, because there's just so much buildup that is just trying to, kind of peek its way out of your armpit, if you understand what I mean. Now, fun fact, it's that time of the year for fun facts. Your sweat is actually odorless. It's the bacteria that likes to live in that happy, warm, and damp, moist place that causes the odor. So essentially, when you're using, your regular deodorants or antiperspirants, and you're clogging your pores and the buildup occurs, it starts smelling funkier and funkier day by day. Now, the third reason is not related to your health, is more related to your wallet. And I'm talking about those yellow stains. Now, I didn't know this for the longest time, but those yellow stains that you see on your white clothes or pastel clothing, those yellow armpit stains, they're actually caused by your antiperspirants and your deodorants. So if you are an avid white wearer like me, because half of my wardrobe, I think more than half of my wardrobe, it's actually just white things and pastel things. So I do wear a lot of light clothing, light in color. And I know that the worst thing ever is when you have this t-shirt that you absolutely love and just you notice that it gets a little bit yellow in the armpit area, and you cannot wash it out. It just doesn't wash out. And this happens because of the acidic reaction to fabric due to aluminum and all those other harsh chemicals. So natural deodorant actually saves you from buying those white shirts and t-shirts over and over again. The fourth and final reason, which I think is actually the biggest reason that should convince you to switch to a natural deodorant, is irritation and other health issues caused by your regular antiperspirants and deodorants. Now, not only these harsh deodorants and antiperspirants cause irritation, rashes, bumps, and just weird sensations to some people if you have sensitive skin, but some studies claim that all of these chemicals and harsh ingredients, and especially aluminum, that is found in antiperspirants and deodorants, it may cause breast cancer, Alzheimer's, and even fertility issues. So if that doesn't convince you to switch to something natural, I don't know what will. Okie dokie, so let's talk about my backstory, my story in relationship with sweating, how it started and how it's going.
I take it we're best buddies in the future.
So I'm definitely not one of those people who don't sweat or don't have any odor or smell when they sweat. I'm not from those people, so you can trust me that I'm actually, somebody who had their fair share of problems when it comes to sweating. Now, my relationship with sweating started when I hit puberty, and I remember it as if it was yesterday. I just suddenly started to sweat excessively. And yes, that is super sexy. Most of the time it didn't smell too bad, but when it did, I did smell like an old canteen. And as to any person who hits puberty and just starts sweating all of a sudden, it was very strange and weird, and I didn't know how to handle it. But long story short, I got my first deodorant. My mom bought it for me, but then kind of over the years I just stepped up my game, and I somehow found myself using very strong antiperspirants, and I loved it. And of course I loved it because they basically just seal, tape glue your armpits and nothing comes through. So that's why so many people actually love them, but it doesn't mean that it's good for you. Now, I have tried switching to natural deodorants before, not like fully switching, but I tried using them. But because I didn't know how the whole detox process works, I would try it, I wouldn't like it for like a day or two, and then I would just come back to using natural, and not natural, but like my regular antiperspirant or deodorant. Now, what I do want to say is that not every single natural deodorant is going to work for you. It sometimes takes time to find the right option for you. So even when you're making a switch and it seems like even after the detox process, it doesn't work, maybe it's not the best option for you. So there are so many different deodorants. What works for me, it might not work for you. So just keep your options open and keep on trying different things. Now, another thing to keep in mind is the fact that you will notice a huge difference once you make the switch, because first of all, you start sweating, which is normal. But if you have been using aluminum-based deodorants or antiperspirants, it's gonna feel weird for you. And of course, the second thing is that a detox process starts, and for most people it's very ugly, very smelly, very sweaty, moist, damp, and just not very sexy. But you have to stick through it, because I promise you, using a natural deodorant is so much better than literally keeping all of that gunk, all of those toxins inside of your body. Now, the deodorant that worked for me, and I was very lucky in this department, because when I actually made a conscious decision to like, okay, let's switch. I finished my antiperspirant, let's try a natural deodorant. And the first one that I picked up, it worked for me, like it worked magically, literally. And I use Jason's Men's Forest Fresh Deodorant Stick. Yes, it's men's. I've always used men's deodorants. I just like how they smell more, but I do want to try the women's range as well, because I'm just curious. But to me, a very important thing was for the deodorant to be vegan and cruelty-free. Now, Jason's as a brand, they are cruelty-free. They're not vegan, but most of their range is vegan. I think they have only like 2 products that are not vegan, but I believe most of their, not most, but I think all of their deodorant range is actually vegan. So that was very important to me. I do really like it. It's very, very, very good. I don't think that it's like the cheapest thing. If you use like very, very cheap deodorants or antiperspirants, this is gonna be, you know, a little bit pricey. I think I paid around maybe €9 or something for this deodorant stick, but it's worth it. Now, another brand that I know people rave about is Native. You might want to check them out as well. They are vegan and cruelty-free. However, I do know that they have a limited list of countries that they deliver to. They do deliver to USA, Canada, I think Australia, Brazil, and to some European countries, but I don't think that their list is super extensive. So just check whether they deliver to your country, and you might want to give a try when it comes to Native deodorants. Now, moving on to the actual detox process. Now, the detox process takes around 1 month for most people, and that's when you notice heavier sweating and, you know, funky odors, and that's because your body is going through a detox essentially.
Ma, what smells bad?
It is removing all of the toxins, the buildup, and it's essentially purging. I would actually call it purging, yeah. Now, 2 things that you need to keep in mind is the fact that I think most people who were sweating heavily when they were teens, just like I did, most of us think that we bring the same quality, the same personality trait. It's not really a personality trait, but I'll call it a personality trait because, you know, wherever you go, the sweat goes as well. So we think that we automatically bring the same thing with us into our adult lives. But I think what most of us don't realize that our sweat patterns, our sweating model, it might change over the years. And you can sweat literally way less, and you might not smell as bad as you did when you were a teenager. And also, don't be afraid of the detox process, because I think if you hit the jackpot with the deodorant and you immediately pick up something that works for you, your detox journey is going to be way easier. And if you, of course, maybe make a mistake and you don't find a suitable deodorant, maybe it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you. But I highly recommend Jason's, and I heard a lot of good things about Native, so I recommend those. If you want to try something else, do it. But from my own experience, I have nothing bad to say about Jason's. So when I started my detox journey, I filmed myself after every single week, so you will see like different videos of me later on in this video, because I just wanted to kind of capture my experience, my feelings, how I felt after each week, how bad it was, how easy it was, everything. So let's start with week one. Week one was when I didn't notice any difference almost. It felt like nothing really happened, nothing really changed. But I do also know that for most people, week one is the easiest one, because literally nothing changes and you are like, I can actually do this. But then week two hits. Aloha guys, welcome to day 7. I thought it would be very interesting to do kind of like a quick little rundown of my emotions, sensations, and my feelings after being 7 days free of antiperspirant. So I thought actually that it would be way worse, because for so many years I've been an avid user of antiperspirants, and honestly, I really thought that it would be way worse. However, I also know that the first week when you switch to a natural deodorant, it's like the easiest week, and you really start feeling like, oh, this is going so great, but then second week just knocks you down. So far so good. Actually, I don't really see almost any difference. The second day, I think I was like, maybe I'm sweating a little bit more, but not really. Maybe my sweating has changed over the years. So it really isn't that bad. It's actually going pretty great. I don't see any difference. I actually like the smell better, and I'm not even sweating that much. But let's see what happens in week 2, because now week 2 is usually when people notice that they start sweating excessively, the odor becomes smellier than usually. For some people it's easier, for some people it's more difficult to go through that period. For me personally, my second week was the best week. It was better than my first week, so I don't know what happened there, but I noticed that I was sweating less. There was no odor at all. Like, even when I would not wear any deodorant, I wasn't smelling like at all. Even my workouts, when I would sweat during my workouts, it was completely like nothing happened. So I honestly felt like I skipped the whole detox process and just, I don't know what happened, but I think I was just kind of late bloomer. My second week going antiperspirant free, so basically switching to a natural deodorant. My second week, honestly guys, I was, as I said in my first week video, I was really afraid going forward, because my first week was really not that bad. It was absolutely fine, and I just heard that your actual detox starts in the second week. So I was really afraid, but to be honest, I don't know what's going on. I really don't know if it's like the deodorant that I'm using. Is it like Jason's? Jason Derulo. Whatever. So I don't know if it's like the deodorant that I'm using or what is going on, but the second week I feel like it's even better. It was even better than my first week, honestly, you guys. And I feel like my second week is actually better than what it was like when I was using antiperspirant. So I don't know what's going on there, but honestly, my experience is totally awesome. I will never ever go back to using an antiperspirant. I'm actually curious to see if like something's gonna change in like week 3 or week 4 or going forward, even, you know, after 1 month. But I think that most of the things kind of happen during your first month and then everything just kind of settles down. So I think we're good. I think we're actually vibing with the new deodorant that I have. So now let's hop into week 3. Week 3 is when things changed slightly. It wasn't disastrous, but I really noticed a difference going into week 3. As I said, I feel like I was just a late bloomer and the detox process just hit me later, maybe because for so many years I was clogging up my armpits. But what happened is that I noticed a slight change in my sweating, perspiration manner when I would work out. So I did notice that my armpits smelled a little bit weird. And now looking back, I didn't really consider this when I was filming the week 3 video, but now looking back, I noticed that I was smelling a bit funky after a good night's sleep. I didn't really think about it that much, but since it's gone now, like it's gone completely, I think that that was the detox process just kind of coming through. So I think that week 3 actually was a little bit worse than week 1 and week 2. I thought that, sorry, something's in my nose. So I thought that after week 2, because week 2 was so amazing, I thought that week 3 is just gonna be the same and the process of like detoxifying myself was complete. However, I think it was a little bit delayed because in week 3, I experienced maybe a little bit of not more, but I experienced some unpleasant odor while working out. Not just on day-to-day basis, but when working out. So that's not that bad. And it wasn't like a lot, to be honest. So it's nothing that would make me feel like, oh my God, this is like the worst decision ever. I want to go back to antiperspirant, to using antiperspirant, but it was definitely a little bit different. So still not bad. I'm completely fine with what's going on. It's just maybe a little bit worse, but then again, maybe my workouts were a little bit more intense. I'm not sure. So now we come to week 4. Week 4 was something in between week 2 and week 3. It was better than week 3. The things were kind of getting back to its perfect place, but it still wasn't nearly as perfect as week 2. I was still getting these weird odors after sleeping, and I could still sense some slight like weird smell when working out. It was definitely better, but it was still there. But it wasn't as bad as week 3, as I said. And honestly, my entire journey of 1 month, it wasn't bad, it wasn't disastrous. Some days were better, some days were worse, but it was definitely something that I would do again in a heartbeat. So, alohomora guys, I think I've completed my first month journey from switching to natural deodorant, and I can for sure say without a doubt that it has been one of the best decisions that I've made. It wasn't as bad as I expected. Week 4, I would say it was in between week 2 and week 3. There were some days when I was sweating maybe a little bit more, but I really couldn't tell any smell or something like that. So I definitely feel like this little experiment has been a success, and I will definitely not go back to using oh my gosh, this word just makes my head hurt. Antiperspirant. I will not go back to using antiperspirant. So this wraps up my journey through the detox process and my journey of switching to natural deodorant. Now, as I said, I would do it again in a heartbeat. It wasn't as bad as people make it seem. However, I do want you to keep in mind that everyone is different. For some people it might be easier, for some people it might be more difficult. Now, I do want to state 2 important things that I believe really helped me in my detox journey. It's, first of all, I think I really got my stress levels under control in the past few months, and my mental health has been very, very, very good. My mind has been in a very, very healthy place. And previously, more than half a year ago, I was really going through some unconscious stress, and my health was literally deteriorating day by day. So I can really feel a difference now that I have gotten it under control. And I do want to point out that I noticed that me, myself, when I am stressed out, when I'm stressing out, I do sweat more, and I might have a slight odor. So if you are a person that, lives a stressful life and you're anxious a lot, this might cause a more difficult transition. And secondly, I do want to mention that I think that my diet had a big influence on the process as well. I am vegan, so I think that me not consuming heavy meats, fish, dairy, it really, really helps, because I do believe and I know that for some people it can cause, digestion issues. Your body takes more time to process those foods, which essentially leads you to more sweating and maybe smellier armpits because your body is releasing more toxins. So this is just like those are just like 2 things to keep in mind before you make the switch. Maybe just, try to change up your diet as well to make it a little bit easier on yourself. But that is essentially it. I hope you really, really enjoyed the video, and I hope I inspired you to make a healthier choice in your life and just switch to your natural deodorant. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely weekend if you're watching this before the weekend, and I'll see you next time.